Well, that judge who you just heard, that's Judge Kathleen McNamara, and she herself is a former East Hartford police officer. She certainly didn't pull any punches today, telling Lieutenant Ficacelli that if he violates any provisions of his accelerated rehabilitation program, he would spend the next 6 months behind bars. You saw it here on Fox 61. East Hartford Police Lt. Joe Ficacelli threatening state police.
We're gonna have a big problem, dude.
Don't threaten me, dude.
Faking a heart attack.
Can you call me in the ambulance? I feel like I'm having a heart attack.
And lying about not being behind the wheel.
Were you driving?
No.
At some point? You want to be honest with us?
No.
During his DUI arrest in Summers in January.
You just kept digging a hole bigger for yourself. Don't do that again. Be a man and fess up.
On this day, back in court, trying to convince Judge Kathleen McNamara to keep him out of jail. We saw a different personality.
I just want to take this opportunity to apologize to the court, to the state police, to the hospital staff for my actions that evening.
Judge McNamara initially not convinced.
Your credibility is a little shaky with me still, because you presented yourself as someone who is above the law, did not have to follow the rules, and obviously had read something on how to get away with driving drunk without getting arrested. I hope if you read a book that you got your money back.
If you grant me this program, I will follow it through to the T, I promise, and you won't see me back here.
The judge using a raw and recent tragedy to hammer home the seriousness of drunk driving.
We just buried a Connecticut state trooper yesterday based on someone who got in their vehicle and had drugs and or alcohol, but was completely out of their mind, had no business driving a vehicle, and killed a trooper and left two little boys fatherless. You are lucky that was not you.
Ficacelli was ultimately granted accelerated rehabilitation, a prison diversionary program. In addition, he was ordered to complete 100 hours of community service, attend a Mothers Against Drunk Driving panel, and visit a hospital emergency room to see firsthand the real-life trauma that bad decisions create.
It only takes 1 second to ruin someone else's life.
Outside court, as we asked Ficacelli if he had a message for East Hartford residents, it was back to no comment.
So you'll apologize to the judge, but you got nothing to say to the people you're supposed to protect and serve? What do you want to say to the residents of East Hartford?
He has no comment. Am I clear?
Judge McNamara pointed out that even though the East Hartford police gave Ficacelli a 30-day unpaid suspension, she has seen officers in his situation been fired or even decertified for that same conduct. And even once Lieutenant Ficacelli returns to work, he's very likely going to have to get an ignition interlock device, or essentially a breath test, to be able to start his vehicle installed in his department vehicle. And we should also point out that 21 days later, our Freedom of Information Law request to obtain Lieutenant Ficacelli's completed internal affairs investigative report has still not been fulfilled. We're live in Rockville. Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.